What can we say that's new about this Sunday's parable of the prodigal son? When I hear this story, I think of the window in the church where I was pastor. It depicted the father of the prodigal about to embrace his repentant son who kneels before him. In the background, looking through a window, is the older son, resentful of the father's forgiveness. That window captures the graphic portrait of a selfish, shallow young man whose ambitions are to escape and have what's coming to him, rejecting his relationship to his father and brother. That self-centeredness ends in misery. Maybe we can see ourselves in that window. The parable also gives us the surprising, powerful portrait of a father who never gives up. In his culture, this father opens himself to ridicule from the tribe. Welcome, reinstatement, even celebration, these simply weren't done. We see here the God proclaimed by Jesus, a God of mercy and forgiveness, no matter what we have done. I was always struck by the window's image of the resentful older brother, and maybe we can find ourselves in that portrait as well, because scripture scholars suggest that this parable, told only in Luke's gospel, may have had something to do with a problem in Luke's own Christian community, something going on in the contemporary church of the time. Luke begins the parable first by recalling how the Pharisees and scribes complained about Jesus welcoming and dining with tax collectors and sinners. Could the same thing have been happening in Luke's community? Were some scandalized by how sinners were being reconciled? And were there people offended by who was invited to share the Eucharist? And had some forgotten what Jesus said and did? It's not just a problem from back there in the first Christian century. In 2016, when Pope Francis proclaimed a year of mercy, he wanted Catholics to examine themselves and their attitudes toward God and others. The Pope put it very simply: Jesus is the face of the Father's mercy. The twin conclusions of the gospel story are clear. That face of mercy is available for all, those with a lot to be forgiven and those who might not yet be ready to celebrate the prodigal's return.